Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something we've all felt, how to completely rewire your relationship with anxiety. Let's just jump right in. So, picture this. You're sitting at your desk, just minding your own business, when suddenly, ping, you look at your screen. And there it is. We all know that exact feeling, right? It's that sudden wave, your heart just starts racing, your palms get incredibly sweaty, and you get that dropping, completely freaked out sensation right in the pit of your stomach. Welcome back, anxiety.
Section 1. The Misunderstood Protector.
You know, for most of us, when that panicked feeling hits, we immediately label it as the enemy, right? Like it's some sort of flaw in our wiring that we just have to avoid at all costs. But what if we've been looking at it completely wrong? See, anxiety isn't some modern glitch in your brain. It's actually this absolutely essential evolutionary tool designed specifically to keep us alive. I mean, our ancestors relied on it to avoid real physical danger, like, a literal predator in the wild. The problem is just that modern life, which sometimes feels like a loud boss with a megaphone, has basically cranked the volume of our everyday protective anxiety way, way too high.
So the crucial point here is that too much of even a potentially good thing, like our protective anxiety, is genuinely harmful. We have to learn how to literally reach out and just turn down that giant volume knob. And the best part, we don't have to guess how to do it. We have these amazing science-based tools we can use to physically dial down that volume and actually return our anxiety to its helpful, protective state.
Section 2, the breath break. Okay, to start regulating, we really have to connect with our physical bodies. When you take a deep, slow breath, you aren't just distracting yourself. You're actually directly activating your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the natural built-in rest and digest part of your biology. Think of it as a literal physical brake pedal against stress. The vagus nerve sends a signal straight to your brain saying, hey, you are safe, and it completely stops that flood of stress hormones. It's just pure physiology in action. So to actually tap into this, you can use a technique called box breathing. It's incredibly straightforward. Here's how it works. You inhale deeply for 4 counts, hold that breath at the top for 4 counts, exhale deeply for 4 counts, and then hold at the bottom for 4 counts. It's that simple. This specific rhythm has been perfected by everyone from, ancient monks to modern meditators, all because it allows you to take immediate physical control over a racing nervous system. And honestly, the absolute best part about the breath break is how stealthy it is. You can do this completely silently in the middle of any anxiety-provoking conversation. I mean, whether you're on a tense Zoom call or having a tough one-on-one with your manager, no one will even know you're doing it. You're secretly rewiring your stress response in real time. Talk about an incredible sense of empowerment and control, right?
Section 3, the movement bubble bath.
Now, what if you have a little bit more space to move around? Get this. Every single time you move your body, you are doing something genuinely magical for your brain. You're basically giving it this wonderful, beneficial bubble bath of neurochemicals. We're talking dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline, and endorphins. These are those amazing mood and reward-boosting chemicals that actively dial up the positive feelings while literally flushing out negative stress hormones, like cortisol. I mean, just imagine how much energy a little movement brings. And listen, you definitely do not need to run a marathon to get these benefits. Research actually shows that just 10 minutes of walking works wonders. If you're in an office when that stressful email hits, just get up. Take a quick walk around the block. Or honestly, just march yourself down to this supply closet to grab some sticky notes. It doesn't matter. It's the physical movement that counts. And hey, if you're working from home, get creative with it. Throw on 2 of your absolute favorite songs and just dance in your living room like nobody's watching. Bang out a quick set of jumping jacks. If you're at the office, maybe get off the elevator a floor early before a big meeting. Or, try some Mrs. Doubtfire-style power vacuuming when you're stressed about a deadline at home. Literally, whatever gets those neurochemicals flowing. Let's actually look at how this plays out in the real world. A neuroscientist tested this exact effect on NYU students. So first, the students took an anxiety assessment, and no surprise, they scored pretty high. Then, they were led through this dynamic movement session. They combined kickboxing, dance, yoga, martial arts, and even some positive spoken affirmations. And when they retook that same assessment an hour later, their anxiety scores had dropped all the way back down to normal levels. This isn't just theory, guys. This is a proven, powerful intervention that you can use right now.
Section 4, the empathy superpower.
All right, so you've breathed, you've moved, the volume knob on your anxiety is finally turned down. And what happens next is truly where the magic of this explainer comes together. Once that blinding panic is gone, you can actually use that anxiety for what it evolved to do. to warn you about a potential danger so you can creatively address it. You can finally step back and clearly evaluate what that ambiguous email actually means. Like, are you just feeling insecure about a specific skill, or have you genuinely taken on way too much work? You can actually think clearly. Because you are no longer trapped in that primitive fight or flight mode, communicating just becomes easy again. Going to a trusted colleague for advice, or walking into your boss's office to discuss prioritizing projects, it suddenly won't feel like a life or death threat. You have essentially turned a panic attack into a strategic planning session. And that brings us to the absolute greatest gift of this entire process. Once you learn to recognize these telltale warning signs of anxiety in yourself, you will effortlessly spot them in everybody else. You'll start noticing the clenched jaw, the nervous energy, the sweaty palms. And because you've been exactly where they are, you can step in. You can offer a kind word, a smile, or a helping hand to just get them through their moment. It all really comes down to this. If you breathe, move, and take note of what your anxiety is signaling, you'll feel more fulfilled, more creative, more connected, and less stressed overall. By consciously turning your personal panic into a protective tool, this process literally boosts your superpower of empathy. And let's be totally honest here. Higher levels of empathy for one another is exactly what the world needs right now, probably more than ever.
So, as we wrap up the explainer today, I want to leave you with this final thought. Now that you understand the science of your own nervous system, and you know how to turn your anxiety from this terrifying enemy into a profound asset, go out and look closely at the people around you. Who in your office, in your home, or just in your life needs your new empathy superpower today?